Hello everyone, present here virtually. I am Preeti here and I welcome you for today's session, which is titled as Career Guidance to Humanities Students. And presenting this session, we have with us our today's expert, Divita Sharma ma'am. Divita Sharma ma'am, she has completed her graduation, master and MPhil in English literature. She has tutored MA English IJNOU student. Her area of expertise is eco-criticism. Her area of research mainly lies in exploring and accepting eco-sensitive underpinnings in discourse of Indian English literature and animal studies. She has two of her articles published in international research journals. Right now, she is working on a case study related to sustainable ecotourism that she one of branches of eco-literature. Without wasting much time, I am welcome to Dr. Divita Sharma, ma'am. You may now start, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your humble introduction, ma'am. Hello, guys. I am Divita Sharma, and let's start with let's start with our career guidance in humanities. As you all know, like humanities is it is something that is very much under scored, under believed by the people, and they say that humanity is something that we should not take, and it appears to be the last option for many of the candidates. But today, let's start with what exactly do we mean by humanities. So the word humanities has to be distorted into human plus it is. What is human? Human is something that is related to the humanity, the entire world. That is Vasudev Kutumbakam, like world is family, or something that is very much related to how things work in the society, right? So humanities in itself is a thing that is related to culture and related to culture and critical methods of inquiry, right? So in humanities, people do not have to like undervalue it as something ki it should not be done and it should not be taken by people in after 12. Rather, I would say that people should go for something that is that they should take humanities as a field so that they can explore the cultures and the society. For here, I am just going to read you a short paragraph, and then I'll explain what exactly do I mean to say to you, right? So humanities is a branch of knowledge that concerns themselves with human beings and their culture, or with analytical and critical methods of inquiry derived from an appreciation of human values, of unique ability of human spirit to express itself. So here, guys, you need to understand what humanities means. Like humanities, as I've told you already, that it is a branch of knowledge. So it is a branch of knowledge that we gain about the society, in the society that we are living. Science and commerce are something that are talking about the things that are explored, that are man-made. Here we are studying about the things that are natural, that are very much natural to our surroundings, that are very much natural to our behaviors, how animals behave, how particular thing, how plants behave, and how like things behave are something that are part of science, right? But humanities is more related to the man science, the science of the body, the science of the social culture, the social society in which we live. As we all know, there is this saying that I would like to tell you, that man is a social animal. Like man cannot exist in isolation. We are not like animals, like we can roam around in the jungle, and we don't have anything like that, and we just have to eat and sleep. It's not that. Man is someone who is very much dynamic, who is very much versatile, right? So what do we mean by humanities? It is a social animal thing. Like you are studying the social culture, the social society that is there, that includes the culture of a society, that includes nature of a human being, like how societies, how civilizations have established, and how civilizations have been destroyed, and how people behave in a particular situation, right? So it is more of a analytical and critical methods, and in other sciences you don't have this critical thing. There is just thing that you have to analyze, and you can give your solutions, and you can give your like answers to the particular problem. But in humanities, you develop a critical thinking, which is very much important. You are able to think whether the a particular thing that we are working is right or wrong, if whatever we are doing is right or wrong, whether the things that we are working on is right or wrong. Critical thinking is something that is related to our own selves. Like for example, if we critically analyze a civilization, for example, we analyze Indus Valley civilization, we get to know like that was the golden period of Indian existence. Like if we analyze Greek civilization, so we get to know that that was a golden period. What culture was there, what society was there, what gods do they worship. So this is exactly the knowledge that we gain in the field of humanities. So please do not dishearten yourself like by like, oh my god, we have taken humanities. Humanities is a very much versatile subject, more than science and commerce. And I am not here undermining science and commerce. They are important and relevant in their own self. But to the same point, I would like to say like humanities in itself is very much important, because humanities lets you in the human body, lets you in the society in which the people are living, in which it lets you in an environment where we grow, we prosper, and we grow into a human being from traveling from the stone age, like when a person was an ape, a monkey, to a age where we are someone who are developing ourselves in a better person. We are developing in ourselves in a technologically advanced society, and the crimes that are taking place, the empathetic level that we have is something that is part of humanities. A person who is empathetic to the human life, a person who is empathetic towards the pains of others, should go for humanities definitely, because it is something that works on how we look at the pains of others. For example, if there is this we read this news, for example, killing of Sidhu Moosewala, very recent news that we have right now. So we have this sympathy, or rather sympathy for the family of that man. We have the sympathy for the people, for his parents. We have the sympathy for anything. So humanities helps you to develop your emotional intelligence, which is very 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 important, right? People are working, we are not here robots. It helps you develop your emotional intelligence, which is as I've told you earlier, it is important. So what exactly do we mean by emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is something that we that is related to the emotions of the society, that is related to the emotional EQ level of a person. So what exactly do we mean by EQ level? EQ level means that how we are perceiving a particular situation. So what we mean by perception? There is this person, I read this word called perception. So perception means personal reception. What do you mean by personal reception? Personal reception means like how we perceive to a particular situation that is taking place. For example, if we go to independence, like during the time of independence, how Mahatma Gandhi perceived that situation. He perceived it as a growth for his India. He perceived it as a unity in his India, and he perceived that satyagrah is the situation through which we can tackle the British colonizers. So this is something that we get in human values. This is related to human values. Like for example, he used to narrate the Ishwar Allah Tero Naam Sabko Sanmati De Bhagwan. So this is something of the personal reception that is there, like how he perceived it. He was also a humanities student, let me tell you that. He was a lawyer. Okay, so lawyer is someone, he has this emotional intelligence of connecting with people. So humanity is something that teaches you to how to connect to a society and how to connect to the culture, particular culture that you are living in. And I think this is the most important thing that people of science and commerce should also learn, like how you are able to connect to the society and how you are able to connect to the people that you are living around. So it does not make you a robotic, it does not make you a financial a person who is only money minting, and it makes you a more of a human. Like humanities means making you human, more human, and more concerned towards the humanity of this culture, of this world, or in this society in which we are living. And again, I would say that this entire world is a family, so we have to be we should care about what exactly are we getting through these things, and how things get into working. And this is that we develop through humanities, right? So let's go to in rather details, like what exactly do we mean by humanities, and what are the particular streams that are part of this humanities, right? So basically, if we start, humanities is a concern with human beings, their culture, and critical inquiry derived from an appreciation of human value. As I've told you, it is appreciation of human values, like how we appreciate a quality in a particular person, right? So disciplines that are there, and the physical and the biological sciences uh, are something that are related to the sciences. Okay, it is more about the social sciences. Social sciences includes like how a person behave, like social something. What do we mean by social? We are living in an age of social media. So what do we mean by social? What exactly the word social means? The word social means like how we look into the society and how we perceive it in a way to a level in which we can achieve a, a more of a kind of a what should I say? We should achieve a level in which we are more related to the sympathy and the behavioral differences that we people have, the cultural differences that we people have, and also the societal differences that we have, and also the most important point that we should respect it, right? So this is something that is related to humanities. Okay, so this is the human field. What exactly do the thing? What exactly are the things that we include in humanities? It is literatures, the art, the history, and the philosophy. So the literatures means that the work that people have written, and how a literature arrives. Being a literature student, I can tell you that literature is the most beautiful thing on this planet. Literature is something that helps you to go into the depths of a human mind, right? If you are for example, if you have read this book by Chetan Bhagat, okay, if you have read a book by Jane Austen, that is Pride and Prejudice, and also if your literature includes the movies that is there, the films that is there. So the earliest movie that we have is Kashmir Files. We have Prithviraj Chauhan, like that has just released right now. So let's not talk about Kashmir Files. Let's go for Prithviraj Chauhan. So Prithviraj Chauhan is something that is talking about how a culture has arrived, and how a king like Prithviraj Chauhan, who was one of the most renowned kings of India, have developed a thing, and how did he fight the people who were there, who were here, and try to finish a particular culture. So it is not only about Prithviraj Chauhan. We can talk about the Mughal emperors, like how Mughal emperors helped us to fight with to fight from the Britishers, how Mangal Pandey helped our society to protect it from British rule, right? So this is exactly what we can learn in humanities. Again, emphasizing on the fact that it is related to a particular culture, and a culture that is derived from its history, right? So you are able to develop a relationship between a culture and history, right? So this is so sorry, this is exactly what a field of humanities consists of, right? Then we come to the arts. Art is the performing arts, right? So uh, as we know recently, and it is quite it is coincidental that people have just died from the field of art. Like, I'm so sorry for, I really have my condolences for those people, whether it's KK, whether it's Sidhu Moosewala, or whether this is Sapori, the famous musician that was there, Sapori. So these people have died recently. So why do we remember these people? Because they were able to give their uniqueness. They were able to emphasize on their uniqueness through their arts. So what exactly arts are something that is a beauty, that is the essence of a particular society. Rabindranath Tagore, in one of his sentences, has said that if a person involves itself in art, that means he is involving the soul in the particular thing. So performing drama, performing dance, performing other things is something that is related to the is related to the soul of a society, like what exactly a society behaves like. For example, let me explain you with more details here. So let's talk about a particular civilization, right? Let's talk about the um, what let's talk about like Assamese civilization, right? I have a particular inclination towards that. So yeah, so if we talk about Assamese civilization, there is this bihu that goes there, right? So the bihu dance that is there, and also the like how things develop there, and what exactly is the thing, what exactly are the rituals that these people follow, and what are their gods, and how do they worship their gods, and also the Tibetan culture that is there. Like India is something, Indian people are related to Tibetan culture because we are just very close neighbors, right? So Tibetan dance, Tibetan culture, Tibetan food exactly is something that we get to know through arts. How are they going to display it? Either they are going to display it through books, right? So we read books and we get to know what exactly is happening, and or rather we see the dances that are there, the masks that are there. And you would many of us know that, like when in the earlier times, in the times when we had no TV, no social media. Right now we are very much disconnected people from each other right now. But in the earlier times, that is, I am talking about the times when there was no internet, in the 16th and the 17th century, or rather in 18th century as well. Dances and the music and the cultural activities, the Ram Leela, the particular the shows and the dramas that used to take place, the nukkad nataks that were the main source to create awareness among people, right? So what was the purpose of creating awareness? I remember the times, people who are related to my age, like I'm talking about the 90s, people who are related to our age, when we did not have internet. So we used to go to see the nukkad nataks, and we used to get that banners in our hands and go on the road and see how people were making us aware about polio. So polio was the basic was a big time, a big campaign that was working when I was a child. So people of my age can relate to this. So this is something that is related to how things work, the how important the art is. Like how do we know about the culture of a particular society? Whether if we talk about the Arabic culture, how do we know like how Arabs arrived, and what exactly were their fights, and what exactly were their invasions? We get to know that only through our insights into that particular civilization. And what gives us the insight into that particular civilization? It is about the humanities. It is the humanities that gives us the particular insight about the civilization, right? So there are these people, and to our own surprise, there are these people from German philosophers like William Detley called humanities the spiritual sciences. Okay, so the what do you mean by spiritual sciences? And the word spiritual arrives, and I get to connect with Buddha. And what exactly do we mean by spirituality? Spirituality, whether it's Buddha, whether it's Mahavir, whether it's XYZ Sufis that we have in our world right now. So, what exactly the world spiritual sciences mean? That you helps you connect with the transcendent world. Like, what is the transcendent world? Transcendent world is when we are connecting to the world beyond this body, beyond this culture. So, it is a way of going beyond your limits. A way of like what you see is something that you can't explain in humanities. If you feel like I am seeing a particular tree right now, so I'll explain that tree to you. No, that's not humanities. Humanity is something that helps you to treat how to see you beyond its appearance, like how a tree develops, like what exactly are the history of the tree, and how have they evolved and all. So it is about a rather a timeline that is there, the trajectory that is there of studying a tree, that it goes in humanities, right? So this is what we have in humanities right now. Fine. So it is about the spiritual sciences. Spiritual sciences that with spiritual sciences, I have this author in my mind, that is W.B. Yeats. He was a person from Ireland, if you know. So he was someone who was related to the occult sciences. Occult sciences क्या होती है? Occult sciences is the dark sciences, the tantra mantra and all. So many of us would think like a British person and relating to tantra mantra. Tantra mantra is not exactly the thing that we are talking about here right now. Tantra mantra is not about the only the necromancy, the black magic. No, it's not that. It's about how your energies of your body are related to the society, to the universe. Okay, so this is something that we get to know through humanities, like how our body responds to a particular things. Like it is more of a sensory science, I would say. Like in the starting of my lecture, I've mentioned that it is related to the emotional intelligence, and yes, it is very much related to emotional intelligence, like how a emotional intelligent person behaves in a particular situation. For example, if I give you a situation, a person is dying on the road, right? Not exactly like he is hit by a car and he's just suffering and he's just uh, asking for art, shouting for help, and there is someone who goes, there are people who are going away, and there is this, I am not exactly saying a humanities person will go and help it. It also depends upon the values and the sanskars that a person gets. But also I would can tell you that a emotionally intelligent person would go show empathy and help him to get there and help him to have a good treatment and help him to go home. So this is what emotional intelligence means. Like emotional intelligence is very much, according to a study, emotional intelligence is very much more important uh, than the mental intelligence, than the IQ level. The IQ level and the EQ level are more, EQ level is more important than the IQ level right now. In many of the universities and many of the societies, that people test the EQ level rather than IQ level. So, okay, let's go into digressions apart. Let's go into the details what exactly the humanities means. As I've told you that it increases your critical thinking, the skills that we get to know through humanities. Okay, so there's these skills that we get to know through humanities. So sorry. So what are the skills that we get to through humanities? It helps you about the critically thinking that I've told you, like what exactly is the critical thinking. For example, there's this fight going between Ukraine and Russia right now. What a critically thinking person would think. A person from a science background would think about the missiles, like how what far a missile is going, and a financial person from commerce background would think that, oh my God, it is something that financial loss that the society is feeling. But who will think about the humans who are dying, the innocent people who are dying in the society? Can you tell me, like, how we can relate to a person who is dying in the society? A humanities, a person who is emotionally intelligent, a person who has emotional question towards the people, towards the kids who have lost their parents, towards the soldier who has lost their limbs, or towards the people who have lost their families in a blast or particular thing, in a war that is going from April to June right now. It's more than 3 months. 3 months is a very long period. So these people, this helps you to develop a critical thinking. It helps you to develop a more conducive environment in which we can live. For example, global warming. Like, how did the word global warming start? Uh, how exactly global warming start? Like, can we? I am not here blaming a particular stream for this, but I can for my concern, through my thought, I can say that global warming is something that has started with the overpowering nature, the overarching nature of the science, right? We develop these technologies, we develop these gadgets and something. So this global warming started, we started making these towers, so the birds started dying. And having this eco sensitivity that I have, it's in my blood, that the eco sensitive perspective that I have, like, so it helps me to be more empathetic towards what are the disadvantages of too much science and commerce. Chanakya has said excess of everything is bad. Okay, so I'm not saying that a person should always think about critically and always think about the analysis and all. No, but there should be a balance. The equal balance in is very much important. So humanities in itself is very important. Okay, and in India, people say, "Oh my God, you are from humanities field. तुम्हें कुछ नहीं आता." No, it's not that. It is very much important, and it makes you more empathetic. It makes you a more better person, and I would say it again and again, and it will help you to develop a critical thinking, like how you can serve the society. For example, there was this World Environment Day yesterday, right? Well, how do we need by environment? How do we realize that we need to conserve our environment? Because we realize that humanity, human in itself, a person in humanity as a term, like human as a people, how can they survive? They can only survive through humanities. Like they can survive if we do not think, if we are not like sensitive, if we are not concerned, if we are not aware about the environment that we are living, we'll die. It's as simple as that. We were fighting for oxygen cylinders in 2021, and why did that happen? It was because of the coronavirus. And how did this coronavirus develop? It developed in the labs of China. So this is what there is this disadvantage that is there of this science thing and also the commerce thing. So let's not go and criticize others. I am not here to tell that whether it's right or wrong, but I am just saying that please do not undermine yourself if you are a humanities student, because humanities helps you develop a critical thinking, to develop and analyze the society that you are living in, and it helps you to be more conducive and more empathetic towards the environment in which you are living. And also, most importantly, it gives you the most reputed service that is there, that is UPSC, IAS, IPS, and IFS. You need to be a more conducive person there if you want to relate to the society, if you want to serve to the society. So you have to have this emotional question there. So this is exactly what humanities is about. Like this is exactly what humanities is talking about, right? So what are, now let's focus on what are the particular major subjects that we have in humanities. So here I have mentioned that it is English, foreign languages, and history. Like English is also a foreign language. It includes Hindi as well, the Urdu, the Punjabi, the Telugu, the Assamese, the particular regional language that we should know about ourselves, of our culture, that we should be aware about. So that this is about the foreign language that is there, like Spanish, and also we should know about the culture of other societies as well. So this is exactly what humanities talking about. Like history, I've mentioned, history is something that is very important in humanities, because we need to know like what exactly was the culture that we have evolved from. Like if we are Indian citizens right now, what was our constitution? How did we get independence? So these are the things that every person should know. Like in the world that you are living, the world, the gift that you get from your ancestors, how you will be grateful to them? You will be grateful to them when you are able to get a thing, like you know what exact sacrifices that those people made for your benefit, for your beautiful future, for your society. So this is exactly what humanities make you more humane. It's as simple as that. It is make you a more of a human person that is there. Okay, so this is something that is related to humanities. Like what the term exactly the humanities means, that I've already focused on this, but still I would like to tell you that it talks about the cultural history, the quantitative history, and the oral history that is there. And it is not only about history; like it is also about the political science. It is about the political science, philosophical science, and many things like that. So humanities is something that we should focus. Like what exactly this considers are like we have these major subjects that are there in humanities. Like what are the major subjects that we have in humanities? we have social science, we have political science, religious studies, we have art, like art history. What is art history? Art history is very important. Okay, so what is art history? Like we have this beautiful cravings, and we have this beautiful cravings in Ajanta and Ellora caves. Who studies them? Like we have this ad, I remember, like there was this ad by this there was this ad coming in which we have this kabhi to aake dekho Gujarat mein, like we have this khajurao beautiful thing, like how khajurao developed. So I would say that people from India had this thing, and they were very much beautiful. They were very beautiful in like how they used to develop our how our society develops. So what is political science? Political science is something that is related to what exactly did we have. Like it is about the political changes that our society has faced. Like how do we get freedom? How did we find ourselves in a particular society? Like how we read a thing. Like it is more about the anthropology. Anthropology is related to the society in which we are living. It is about the psychology, and psychology is a very important thing right now. Okay, so the mental health of a person, what exactly a person, the society, what exactly a society is facing right now, and what exactly are we going through right now. It is about the world history that I've told you, the gender history, and this is very important. Gender studies. Gender studies is the it is, as I've told you, that the root of every humanities subject is the cultural and the social things that we are living about in right now. So what exactly do we mean by gender studies? Gender studies is something that we related to the women's studies, like how women have developed from being a part, just being treated as cattle and cows, and how did they get their rights, how did they get the right to education and all. So this is something we learn in humanities. Like this is something that is part of the liberal sciences there. I've mentioned that here as well. So it is part of the liberal sciences. The liberal sciences, how liberal society has developed, and how we are going to learn from the particular thing. Okay, so this is that. Then we have art history. Art history is something like a particular sculpture that is developed. For example, if we take a sculpture in Khajuraho caves, or maybe in Ajanta Ellora caves. I remember when I went to Mumbai. So in my visit to Mumbai, I saw this Shiva and Parvati in this sculpture, right? So that sculpture was there from 6th century. So what this is the beauty of humanities, that you are going to know about our cultural heritage that is there. Like cultural heritage, it also includes that it also includes Qutub Minar, it also includes Taj Mahal. These all are the part of art history. Like how are we going to appreciate the attempts that our ancestors made? Like how are we going to appreciate the attempts that our ancestors made to in exactly what is the thing that we have. Okay, so for example, Taj Mahal was made by Shah Jahan for his wife, okay, Noor Jahan. Oh, so what was the reason? The love is something that is mainly taken care of in humanities. It is not any other field that takes care of love. Okay, so why exactly I'm focusing on all love? It's not about the love that you have for your beloved, for the girlfriend you have. It's about the love for the society. It is about the love for your parents. It is about the love that you have as a person towards the environment. So love is a feeling. It is not a feeling that is only related to a human to a love between a man and a woman. It is a love that you have to have your society. And how this love develops, it is a love that Buddha had for his disciples. It is a love that people, the great people, Mother Teresa had for his kids. It is the love that Mahatma Gandhi had for his people, for his countrymen. It is the love that Bhagat Singh had for his countrymen, and so he sacrificed his martyred at the age, at only age of 23. Okay, so this is something that we get in humanities. It is like developing your human. It is more about developing your human qualities. It is developing the gift that the beautiful nature that has given to us, like how we develop that love in ourselves and spread that among the people
to which we belong. Okay, so as I was talking about, what are the what what are the subjects that we have in humanities? Okay, so there's this subject called history. I've told you. Okay, political science is something that I've told you, like how the polity of the society means. And the sociology is something like how a society works. Geography, psychology, philosophy, economics. So psychology, that is there. Psychology is like how a mental health of a person develops, how a child behaves, and why does he behave in a particular manner. If a child cries on being hit by someone, or if a child cries, like so it is something a part of a psychology. It is very important. If you don't have an emotional quotient, you can't understand psychology. It is a particular thing that I would like to emphasize. To understand psychology, we need to understand like how a society develops its mental health, how why people behave in a particular manner. Okay, then philosophy is related to the philosophy that we have from Aurobindo, the philosophy that we have of Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy is very important. Okay, he had this philosophy of ahimsa, then he had this philosophy of non-violence, and he had this philosophy of working of taking everyone together. Okay, so these are the philosophies that we get to learn in humanities. There is this philosophy. People who are from the English background may understand the philosophy of romanticism, the French Revolution that is there. Every philosophy that develops in our society is something that is derived from humanities. Like philosophy, if I talk about Chanakya, so Chanakya gave this Arthashastra. What exactly was the rudiment of Arthashastra? Arthashastra was something that was based on a philosophy. So what philosophy was Arthashastra based on? It was based on the philosophy of how a king should rule a ideal state. So it is more about the relationship between a king and an ideal state. Well, what exactly does ideal state mean? Ideal state has this financial freedom, financial thing. Okay, and the scientific equipments that these people have. So these are the how ideal state should be, and how a king should be. Like, how do you establish a relationship if there is no relationship between king and ideal king? How the things would transfer from one point to another? So that is the main role of the humanities. Like, it helps you transfer from one place to another. Then we have law. As I've told you, law is very important because that makes you aware about the rights and the wrong that is there, the human rights that is there, na? The rights of people also. Okay, so then we have linguistics is like how a particular language has developed. It is more about so, about like how a language has developed. Linguistics includes phonetics, it includes the semantics, and I would tell you it is just like a subject in science. I have been fortunate enough to teach linguistics to MA new students, like a first year student. So linguistics is the basic science that is there, the phonetics, the semantics, the words that are there, and how Saussure and Noam Chomsky has developed these things. And it is a science. The words that I'm speaking right now, the words that you are reading from this screen, are something that are part of a science. If you can't read a word, you won't understand what that is there, and how to pronounce a particular word. For example, if we are pronouncing the word humanities, so how that word has to be pronounced is something that is related to linguistics. Okay, then literature, I've told you, it is something that is very important. Then we have journalism. Journalism is something like that tells you about the society. The news channels that you see, the news that you see on the television is something that is related to journalism. And if we don't have journalism, so we don't get to know what crimes, what exactly is going on the other part of the world. How the news, the recent news that I've told you, whether it's about the sudden deaths or whether it's about the wars that are going, how do we get to know about these things? We get to know about these things through social media, electronic media or print media. So what exactly does this word print media derives from? It derives from journalism. Journalism is not about only delivering news. It is about how a particular society, they are also socially responsible, like how a person should develop. So journalism and literature are the two fields that helps you develop your things, that helps you develop the concern that a person should have for a society. Okay, so this is something that we have right now. Then we have classics, the gender studies. We have already discussed everything. Okay, fine. So this is exactly that we have in humanities right now. Though what are the, now let's discuss like everything that we have. This is something we live. And but there was this question, there would be a question in your mind, like, ma'am, okay, fine, like we have this emotional question, but why, if we can't make money out of a particular field, we won't be able to like develop that, we won't take that. Okay, so how are we going to earn from that thing? Okay, so let's focus on what, how do colleges offer humanities, how they deal with humanities. Okay, so I have mentioned every I've opened this slide little late, but I've mentioned already the points that I'm talking about. Okay, so this is something that just a second. Yeah. So this is the thing that we were talking about right now. It's like how I've mentioned everything that is mentioned here is being taught already discussed by me. Okay, so this is something that we are talking about. Like now, let's focus on what are the popular things that are there, like how people study humanities. Humanities are something that people study, and in the National Center of Education and also the National Education Policy of India, right now the NEP 2020 is especially is focusing on humanities field right now. And this is very people here would be surprised to know that why the government is paying so much attention on 2020, according to NEP 2020, why the government is paying attention on humanities. Okay, because government also wants people to develop a more of a human environment. They want people of this country to be more sensitive towards the society. They should know like how a society should work. Like the national education policy has valued and validated the integrated courses, like how a society should develop, like besides everything that is there. So how a particular society develops it, they have stressed on the literacy rate, they have stressed upon the linguistics and the other skills a person should develop. Like, so this is very important in the early childhood care. Like there's this 6 to 14 years, they need to know the law that is there. Okay, so this is the new, it is according to the new society, and this is something that I am not saying, this is something that has been emphasized by the government as well. So you just imagine what importance does this field of humanities have. And I'm fortunate enough, I'm very much grateful to God that I am a humanities student. There's this thing that NEP is talking about, like importance of arts and humanities that is there, like because it is something that helps you to make more emotionally sensitive person. So this is exactly that we have. So the quality and also the very important thing that is there, the research that you do. How will you do a research? You will do a research when you have this critical abilities. And what do you need to have this critical abilities? You need to have a background, you need to have a sensitive thought in which a person can think about how exactly things are developing. So this is something that is related to the humanities field. Okay, so this is there. And here it is, here here, like whatever I mentioned was according to Indian constitution. And this here right now, what I am showing on this slide is something that is related to the educational National Center of Educational Statistics. Okay, so it's not only something that is so we can say that it is something not only that is being preferred in India, it is something that is preferred worldwide. If you want to go outside, it's not that you are not a humanities student, so you cannot go outside. So it is that the National Center for Education Statistics has mentioned that 40,000 English language and literature are graduated. So people are in earlier times, students were not that much concerned about humanities, but right now they are very much concerned about like how they can develop their career, because humanities gives you so much skills. It helps you do it. If you are have this creative ability, you don't need to depend on anyone. Okay, so it is something that we have in that the people of humanities develop in them. Okay, so this is the, just go through the statistics that are mentioned here. So the statistics that are there are like are there is something that are related here. Like, for example, 17,000 students have degrees in foreign languages, 10,000 have degrees in philosophy and all. So this is something that makes us, and it is a very good thing, because this is something that makes the society more conducive and more concerned about how a career develops, how a career develops. Okay, so this is what exactly we have to have here. And now let's talk about what skills that are there. So what are the essential skills that you need to have for your humanities? Okay, so learning it helps you to have this critical thinking. Like I've already mentioned that you have to have this creative thinking, critical thinking, when you want to have this humanities, because it helps you to challenge the society that is there, the status quo that is there. Then you need to have this observation, like you observe a humanities person observes the society. He observes what exactly is going around, how a particular society is behaving. For example, I've mentioned you about the Russian and Ukraine fight, the war that is going there. So people will observe the humanity. A person who is a true humanities student and also has this emotional question will observe like how the society is suffering from the just for the particular from the egos of the people. Then you have empathy, insight. I've already explained this. And the communication, the very important part is the communication. Communication is something that is the most important thing when you want to explain your words to others, whether you when you want to explain your views to other people. So then you have to have this communication skills in yourself. If you don't have a communication skill, like how will you explain your points to other people? Okay, so this is communication is very important. Communication is something that this which helps you to develop a particular uh, insight, helps you to connect with the people. If you are not able to connect to the people you are delivering your lecture to, so how will you help them to develop a thing in that? Okay, and here I've also mentioned the various few things that these are the skills that I've mentioned earlier are the skills that were that I had discussed earlier. But there is this writing skills. Okay, so writing skills are very important for the human person who is there in the humanities field, because writing skills, you write a better answer and you will get to know like how do you write. If you do not observe, you can't write. Okay, so it's not about a plus b equal to c, or whether 1 plus 1 equal to 2. It is not that scientific. It is about like how you think. And thinking, it is I would say it is more about the celebration of your thoughts. It is more about celebration of your expressions that humanities gives you, and it is no other field that gives you. Okay, so this is very important. Then you have research abilities. Research abilities, I've already mentioned, like research abilities, you are able to research on a particular thing. You are able to research like what exactly the things are going about. Then you have this analysis, how analytical you are about the society. Like if if a particular crime or particular incident happens in your locality, or particular thing that happens in your society, you are more concerned about how you can go to develop that thing. Okay, then creativity, I've already mentioned, creativity is very important. If you have this creativity streak, like people say in our culture, it is said that everyone does not have this creativity. Creativity is something that is god gifted, and it is also something that the people develop. But people develop if they are not able to think. How a person gets us for there's this book by Indra Sinha, Animals People. Okay, I'm being a literature student, I have this special inclination towards this literature thing. So there's this book Animals People by Indra Sinha, and it is talking about Bhopal's gas tragedy. Okay, the sensitive, you just need to see the sensitivity of the author. How that sensitivity developed? It developed because he was able to connect with the society. He was able to connect with the pains that the people were feeling. And how can you connect to the pains? If you have an emotional concept. It is not about like you are going to cry with them. No, it's not about that. It's about like you are able to think like what problems these people are facing. For example, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the bomb attacks that happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, people were able to understand that these are the problems that these people are facing, and we need to be sensitive about them so that we can help. A society as a whole is responsible for each and every human being that is living on this planet, because a person because we are related to each other, like everything is connected to everything else. So this is something that we are talking about right now. We do not live in an isolation. India and the people, I need you guys. You need if you guide me, you need teachers to guide you, like what exactly stream that you should take about. And so these are the things that you need to develop in humanities. Okay, let's let's go for the jobs that are there, that are available in this field. So I'll just show you the thing there, and then we'll talk about how you should decide upon your career option, like whether you should take humanities or not. Okay. So there's this, I'll just mention this. This is mentioned here, like job title. There's this bit miss uh, alignment that is there, but no issues. Let's discuss it. Like if proposal management, business administration, web content writer. So you can be a web content writer if you have a degree in psychology, in journalism, sorry, and you can be a content strategist if you have degree in journalism. You can be a communication director if you have a degree in communication. Okay, then you can be an intelligent analyst if you have a degree in political science. You can be a content writer if you have a degree in literature. You can be a content marketing expert if you have a degree in content literature. So, and you can be a technical editor if you have this degree in English literature. You can be a managing editor if you have a degree in journalism. So there are so many fields that is there, and you can have a degree and you can be IAS, IPS, and UPSC, that most of the engineering students are pursuing right now, if you have a degree in humanities, because what exactly you are taught in humanities are something like that. So this is something that you have. You can be advertisement expert. You can create advertisements for the society, for the people, for the businesses. You can have a degree. You can be a psychologist, that is there, psychologist, and help people to derive from their psychology and help them to develop their society. Okay, then you can give the various competitive exams like SSC and UPSC, as I've told you. SSC is Staff Selection Commission, and it also has a very good post, and it is very reputed. Then you can be a lawyer protecting other people's rights. You can be a judicial executive, that is a judge, and which is a very reputed post, the trusted post that is there. So everything that is there, it's not only about the posts are little smaller there. It is about like how people develop and what posts do they get. Okay, so if you have this good abilities of understanding the society, it will help you to develop. And now let's talk about like universal acceptance of humanities, and also like what exactly do you need to have. Okay, so journal studies is something that is human. If you people who are aware about the syllabus of UPSC know that journal studies is something that is related to science, not literature, sorry, science, social science, that includes geography, history, political science, polity, and other fields that are there. So UPSC has this syllabus. Why has they created this syllabus? Because what if they want to make a civil servant, if they want to make a civilized person who can serve the society, he needs to understand everything of this. Okay, so why a judge needs to have a degree in law? Because if he himself does not have this compassion towards the society, there are so many judgments that are very much compassionate. For example, there's this judgment on the Damini case that was there. How a person was able to make that judgment? He was able to make that judgment because he was very much compassionate towards judgment. Right now there is this judgment in which I'm so sorry, I don't remember the judgment, but there was judgment we should be ashamed of ourselves. So in that a person has is something that develops through humanities. It is more about the human skills, the mind and the body skills that are there. The mind and the heart skills are there. For in science, whether you take science, so you have this motor skills now. So you have to judge 2 plus 2 is 4, 5 plus 6 is 9. So you have to judge this. In humanities, you need to think that everything that is there is something concerned to your body. How is it concerned to the society that you are living in? And at the end of the day, you are a social animal. Okay, so human being is a social animal, so he needs to understand that what exactly are we doing is something we need to discuss, right? So then what comes right now is like what comes right now is something that we are talking about. like this is the last segment that I am going to discuss today, is about how should you decide on what skills do you have, or whether you are a good option for humanities or not. Okay, so for this, if you need to decide like whether you are a good option for humanities or not, just chart out your skills. What skills do you have? What interests you more? Like, do you just like how a technical thing develops, how a machine works, then you should go for science. If you think that how a financial organization is working, how a management is working, then you should go for commerce. This natural skills, the human, and most importantly, human resources, something that is related to humanities. It comes in commerce, but it is something that is related to humanities. If you are talking to a person, a human HR manager needs to have a human skills in himself. He needs to be empathetic. He needs to be part of the society. That is something that is being taught in business studies. So this is something that the concern that you have for the society, the concern that you have for the people around you, is something that is part of the humanities. Okay, so this is something that you need to get into humanity. So you need to judge yourself on the like whatever things that I've mentioned, the critical abilities, the research abilities, the creative abilities, your interest in the subject. So you according to that, this you need to decide like what field do you take. Look, one thing that I want, with which I would conclude my lecture, is that no field is bad or good. Okay, it depends upon your interest, your inclination. Okay, if you take your passion as your occupation, if your passion is your occupation, you will grow. But if you take something that is more, you find today is more rich, or is more profitable, you will end up messing yourself. And I'm as serious as that. From my personal experience, I can tell you, like, never ever go for something that your mind and your conscience does not allow. Take the field that you interests you more, and every field has this is his or her own goods. Okay, and also you need to just rely on yourself. You just need to be more confident. The self confidence that you have for yourself, and you will grow leaps and bounds every day. With this, on this note, I would end my lecture, and thank you so much for being patient listeners. And thank you, Business Rosegar, for giving this opportunity to me to share my views on humanities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this very nice and informative session. We will ask our participant to put your question in comment box. We will try to provide the answer. Divita Sharma, ma'am, below the comments. Thank you so much, all the participants, for your active participation. Let me inform to all that this complete session will be available on our Business Rozgar YouTube channel. So if you want to watch it again or want to share it to somebody, please do visit the Business Rozgar YouTube channel. Thanks. And last but not the least, thank you, Divita Sharma, ma'am, for taking out the time for session. With your permission, I would like to end today's session here, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.